I was atheist completely. I didn't believe in anything. You are a frequency, and if I can tune to your frequency, I can know the whole information of you. The quantum field is the design of this earth and this world. I have seen it in my meditations. It's a oneness.
How can we tap into the highest timeline?
If you want to go somewhere else or somewhere higher, that implies that you don't like who you are.
Aligning and activating with the new earth. What does that really mean?
Okay, the new earth basically is... I have been in Egypt and I have a study about Atlantis and Lemuria. Now I have seen in social media, I'm healing 7 generations. Who do you think you are? Like, everything makes sense. And I didn't need to heal anymore or believe the stories of my ego. Many people, like when they see me now and they will tell me, it's so easy for you. No, wait. If I tell you my story, you won't say that.
Before we start, a quick heads up. This episode contains discussions about eating disorders, suicide, and sexual violence. Some listeners may find these topics triggering, so please take care while listening or just skip this episode if you need to. Hi guys, welcome to an episode of Decoded Journeys. For today's episode, the intention is to dive into quantum healing, quantum physics, and the quantum field, and how we can go beyond the surface and beyond the veils and dive into ancient wisdom, ancient civilizations, and history that has been forgotten and hidden. And I have the perfect guest to dive into all of these topics with. Welcome, Luisa Ocampo.
Thank you so much, Rashed, for inviting me.
You're welcome. I'm super excited for this episode. So how did you start your journey in healing specifically?
So, well, first of all, I would like to get like a quotation in that healing word, because I think that healing implies that you are broken or you are sick. So what I have been diving into, it's more like an alignment, an attunement, or actually it's to get in tune with who you are, that it's the being, the consciousness. And through that process, then you get in alignment and your life like flows in harmony. So I would like more than saying healing or like quantum healing or I heal myself, I did this, I did that. No, you look for tools outside of you to get more consciousness about who you really are. And then through that, you open up life for you to feel you, to see you, to recognize you. And now you are in touch with your inner self. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So basically, well, continuing with your question, I had a very traumatized childhood. I was raped at a very early age. And then after that, I felt like I was raised by alcoholic parents. They were very young at the age. I don't judge them at all because that helped me to be the person I am now. So we were growing together, basically. And then my father was always working. Then my child in that place feel like abandonment. And then money means love, because he was always providing with money. And then my mother, she was like there, but not as an authority. She was my friend. We were like growing up together. That will become like, at the beginning, it wasn't bad because I was a child and this was the dynamic I was into it. But then I was raped for my grandfather. And then I was raped from my cousins. And then when I became a teenager, like all these cocktails of teens, became a rebel girl that was atheist and she didn't believe in anything, so depressed, with anxiety, obese, anorexic, bulimic. And then like, yeah, as I said, it's a cocktail of teens that later on end up with me being in a psychiatrist and in a psychologist. And I was so like disconnected from who I was really, that I had to be recommended to go through some other stuff because like they were sending me pills, but also They asked me to go to yoga classes, to ground myself. So since I was 16 years old, I was exposed that maybe the food I was having wasn't the best for me because I was very sensitive. I discovered I was an empath and I wanted to save everyone, but maybe I was the one that needs to be saved, my inner child. So I started eating vegetarian, vegan. I started with yoga. I started with meditation group. And then, yeah, I was peeling layer by layer everything that needed to be peeled to understand that my journey was maybe horror, like a horror for some other people or terrifying, but just because I needed to understand and I needed to see beyond this body. You said, my name is Luisa. I'm not Luisa. This is the role I came to play to this life. Full of many things. I was alcoholic also. I got addictions as well. So I think God is so perfect, or the consciousness, or how you wanted to call it, that instead of sending here somebody that is so perfect and so enlightened that hasn't gone through anything, he sent just a human being that has been through everything and can be empathetic with anybody that has any kind of issue. So because I have been there, I can tell you, if I could, how can you not do it? And then I have been also, as you were mentioning, to every healing therapy until I understood that it's more ego there. Like, it's just my story, how much I'm a victim. They did so many things to me. And then you get trapped in that. And then it's this therapy and then the other. And then at the end, it's a business, you know? So the moment I attuned with myself, I connected directly to God. And I understood that everything happened because it needed to happen for me to come to this earth to help, to raise the consciousness of the world. Then everything makes sense, you know? And I didn't need to heal anymore or believe the stories of my ego, like, oh, you are this, you are that, you went through that. They should say to you that you are this or that. Like, no, I'm playing this role, Luisa. Sometimes I see my ego and I am just like laughing, like, I know we are safe. Sometimes when I'm with men, I feel insecure because of my stories. So I'm like, it's fine. I'm here. It's safe to be here. Now I can say no. Now we have some other tools that before we didn't have. So it's kind of managing all the environment and getting in tune with who I am. So basically, yeah, this is my story and how I got to all the healing modalities, and now how I am doing this quantum attunement that basically is God through me giving the person like the energy that the person needed to do it. And I will be telling that person like, oh, this and that happened. You should shift that. Maybe your vision is not good in that place. And then, yeah, it's more like an intuitive place. But everything is coming from the quantum field because at the end, everything is one.
It's interesting how you being best friends with your mom was actually not what you needed, because there are many people that have a mother from a place of authority that wish they had it the other way around. So it's interesting to see it from this point of view.
Yes, I studied family constellation by Bert Hellinger. I admired this therapy so much because he actually is channeling from God the information to help us to kind of unentangle things that maybe the stories here are very dense and then we cannot see the light. And then I understood like the importance of having a father and a mother in a place of authority, and then you are not equal to them. You are not in the same place with them. You are placed lower than them because they have you. So if you are raised by a mother or a father that are your best friends, then that means that they are equal to you. They are your friends. So you, who is defending you? Who is showing up for you? Who is the adult in the relationship? So that means that there is a out of order in the dynamic of the family. So that will create chaos and entropy. That's why you see so many adults, but deep down when you sit with them, it's just the inner child, very hurt one, and they haven't grew up. Even though they have an adult body, they haven't stepped out of that dynamic because it's like a placement that it's not in the ideal position for the father and the mother. So when you actually place those two positions, then the projections outside of you start changing.
Yeah, interesting. But I also think it's important for a child to feel like they're safe and to have that friendship with their parents to share. Because let's say the story that happened to you and your grandfather or your cousins, the situation, a lot of that happens in family dynamics, but they just don't feel like they can tell their parents because of that authority. Or is it something else?
I think it's something else because this authority, for example, in my family relationship wasn't there. My mother was my best friend. I could just speak up anytime. But then there is a whole dynamic there because for me, it's like the place of authority was in that place sometimes my grandfather. And he was so good to many other people. So how am I going to tell everyone that he is touching me and that's not good? And then he will become bad. And I didn't want him to be bad in front of people, even though he was doing that to me. Because at the moment, I didn't even understand what was going on. And then, yeah, I think it's a matter if you are a child, it's 5, 6, 7, you cannot comprehend. And then if you didn't have maybe sexual education or nobody talk about this with you, then instead of you, even though you are friend with your father and your mother, instead of you speaking up, you will keep it as a secret because maybe you think you're guilty or you feel shame, or there are so many, like, depends on case by case and every
Yeah.
person's journey is different. But I think it doesn't have anything to do with authority and with friendship with the father, because in my case was completely different and still I couldn't open up. I think there should be a balance in between those two energies. Then Bert Hellinger, what it says is like the father is the authority and then the mother is more the love. But both have to balance both energy to give
Yeah.
to the child. So yes, I think it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's more about the journey of each person and the learnings that they have to go through.
Yeah. So when you say authority, you're basically saying authority out of, like, still be an authority, but also still be coming from a place of love and not from a place of control, right? Because when you
Totally.
come from a place of control, that makes the child grow up in a very unsafe environment.
But then if you frame it like that, then it gets us back to the victim mentality. Because they control me, I grew up like this. Because no, I deeply believe that we are volunteers here on earth. We came here and we pick our mother and our father. And these cocktails, even if they look very unhealthy and very bad, were picked by you because they have the perfect dynamic that you needed in order for you to bloom.
To expand, to grow.
Yes, to experience exactly. If I didn't have this mother, if I didn't have this mother, this father, if I didn't have this grandfather and this dynamic of family, I've never been here. I would be. I'm from Colombia, so I would be somewhere in Colombia, like any other of my friends, maybe partying, maybe or lost in the middle of everything, because it's very easy to get lost in this earth and not being aware of myself. So because I went through so much pain and because I picked this dynamic, I was able to wake up.
Yeah. By the way, when I was talking about the parent stuff, I was talking general. I didn't mean your parents specifically.
Yeah. I'm just picking this as an example
Yeah,
because we learn better through examples and metaphors than through some dense abstract information.
Yeah. You grew up Catholic, right?
Yes, my mother and my father, they are both Catholic. They don't practice that much. My father have a strong faith, but he doesn't practice. And then my mother was in and out. My grandmother was very religious, and she was always like teaching me. Also, I studied in a just girls' school, and it was Catholic. So let's say I grew up in this environment, but later on, when I became this rebel girl, I was atheist completely. I didn't believe in anything. I was in philosophy class, reading a lot of philosophy, so I get to understand like what to say to the priestess, what to say to the nuns, because my school was a nun school.
Yeah. So how did your background and your, like, since you were raised Catholic and the stuff that you learned when you went through your atheist phase, It's a phase, I think, yeah. Um, how does that impact what you know now?
I think everything is one. So I had to go through those phases again because if somebody's going through that, I would have the right word and the right understanding on what they are going through. For example, when I was atheist, I used to think, because this was my depression part, I was so depressed because everybody was like raping me or doing something bad to me, bullying me in the school, and many other things I have to face. So for what this suffering? I was just 16 years old, and I felt like something was broken with me or something was bad with me because I saw other people's life, like they were brilliant, loving parents, they were amazing, they were happy.
Yeah.
And then it impacted every phase because now that I know that God exists, uh, many people, like when they see me now and when they see that my energy, they will tell me, it's so easy for you because you are this zen person. I'm like, no, 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 wait. If I tell you my story, you won't say that. When somebody is drinking alcohol, I'm saying, I don't drink alcohol anymore. For me, it's not good or bad, but you cannot tell me you cannot do it because you have been doing it for forever. I did it also. So like there are no excuses.
We're
If you
choosing
interact with
everything.
me, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you went through your atheist phase, I'm pretty sure you were curious and wanted to explore other beliefs, maybe spiritual books or religious books. Like, have you explored any?
Yes. So basically, in my school, we study a lot the Bible, and I got to know that after my atheist phase. Then I went to study a lot of philosophy books. As I was saying, I remember this book I read when I was so depressed. It's We Need More Platon and Less Prozac. And for me, like changed my life because it was saying like maybe so many people are on pills and they don't even need that. They just need like a philosophy therapist or yeah, now I understand. I see. They just need to reconnect with what they actually are. After that, that I got depressed and I went to a psychiatrist, they recommend me yoga. So I started diving into yoga. And my friend from school, she, like her family used to go to India a lot and they have a group of meditation and they invite me. So they were teaching me about meditation, how to connect with yourself. And then I moved to Miami. I was doing my internship in Miami and I was deep into yoga and everything because I was like in the perfect state now. My depression was gone, my anxiety was gone. I was losing weight, no more bad behavior with the food, not anorexic, not bulimic, like I was stable, let's say. And then I was living with a roommate, and this roommate, I told her like what I like and everything. And one day she came with a paper, and this paper said like, if you want to study spirituality, come to us. It's completely free. I didn't know what it was, so I went to the course, and it turns out to be Kabbalah. So Kabbalah is like the mysticism of the Jews. From that, I studied like the whole course, and I understood more about spirituality, about everything, how everything is connected, the secrets from the Zohar, everything. And then from that, I moved to Sufism, that is the books from Islamic point of view, and I love it. Then I study the Book of Miracles. It's amazing because it's a perspective more out of the dogma. It makes you understand that actually what it's real can be replaced because it's from God. And whatever it's not real, you don't have to worry about because, yeah, it's just your point of view or your vision that are making life this complicated.
Yeah.
And then from that, I read just like last year, the Book of Ra. Wow, like you need a level of consciousness to actually understand this book because it gives you so many information and you get connected to some source of consciousness that it's very high. And sometimes, yeah, you need time to digest. I have a friend, she's a therapist in spiritual therapy response. And through they are doing everything by pendulum. And through the graphics she has, sometimes I call her and she can kind of verify the grade of the consciousness of the book. So when I read this, I can already feel it in my body when I'm reading something that it's actually very high. But I
Yeah.
wanted to check.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't trust our own inner guide, but still we want to share. I told her, her name is Paula, so I call her. She lives in Colombia. And she started, we did with many books. And then the highest consciousness book, it's the book of Ra. Imagine.
I was just going to ask you if because there are some books that are labeled high consciousness, but they're not actually, and there's a lot of misinformation, lower density frequencies coming through it. So, yeah, I have the same thing when I find a book that people recommend. I'm always thinking about the underlying codes in it, you know?
You know what it helps a lot? Also, this time, if you have this pendulum and this tool to do it, amazing. But then muscle testing, it's free. We can do it with ourselves anytime, with pills, with books, with everything. You just grab the book and you put it in your heart and you can ask your consciousness, like, is this really a book that will help me to level up my consciousness? And then if you body tilt up like to the front, it's a yes, clearly. And if it goes to the back, it's a no. And then you can instantly know what's good for you or not. This is called muscle testing.
Interesting. What makes it go front and back?
It's the quantum field. We are all connected to the quantum field. And yeah, we are in this field where everything is interconnected and the information is just there. You just have to tap in. It's like, for example, I would tell you a very easy example, languages. Like, for example, if you speak Arabic to me, for me, it will be like a sound that I cannot understand. But this language, it's a frequency. I don't have yet the tools to get to that frequency, so I cannot understand. The same happened to you with Spanish, but we can attune in the frequency of English that is very easy, very like easy access for everyone. That's why this language was created, for all of us to communicate and to understand. It's more complicated when you have many cultures divided than when you have something unified. It's easier to understand the power of oneness that we are. And then you are a frequency, like your body has a frequency. And if I can tune to your frequency, I can know the whole information of you,
Yeah.
who you are, why you're here, where you came from. And then I can access to the information. So yeah, it's basically that.
So I wanted to ask about the connection of the divine. You mentioned divine and the quantum field. Like, is the divine in the quantum field? Is the divine in the quantum field and here?
For me, my perspective and what I have been through, the divine, it's everything. The divine is the quantum field, but actually the quantum field is the design of this earth and this world as it is, to be able to everything interconnect. So the divine is the plan, the divine is you, the divine is me, the divine is this table. But you need a level of awareness to understand that these have information. Like this table, it looks like it's dead, but has an information. You have an information. And then we are part of everything interconnected. That's the divine, basically. It's like, I have seen it in meditations. It's a oneness.
Yeah.
Here, down, we divide everything, categorize, label, and put into boxes. But there, it's everything is one. Here, even people say like first dimension, second dimension, third dimension.
It's very linear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when you are one with everything, with the divine, this doesn't exist, not even the language. So yeah.
Yeah.
The divine is containing everything, and everything is containing the divine. So you can, like, there is no way when you actually feel it that you will have this misunderstanding, because everything is the divine, everything is God, and there is no way you can divide that.
Yeah. So the quantum field basically is not another place that we go to. It is just where we are, but a different frequency.
What are you referring exactly?
So when we say the quantum field, some people may understand it as a place that we travel to or go to, like a destination, right?
Okay.
So what you're saying is a quantum field is everything at front of us, but just another point of view or another layer.
Exactly. It's also like our ego and the way we are created, that we belief we are separate from the other that don't let us actually see. So if you could see and you can go out from here, you will extract yourself from your ego and this Luisa and this moment, and maybe the quantum field will be like layers of things, and then will be a Luisa in Colombia, there will be a Luisa in Miami, there will be a Luisa in Canada, there will be a Luisa in Mexico. Everything is happening at the same time. This past life, future life, that doesn't exist. Everything is happening now. But it's that big and it's that complex that our human mind won't ever understand.
Yeah.
So I would like it to picture like, yeah, everything is happening here. Whatever, like if your consciousness shift now, it will impact the whole quantum field. It will impact your mother, your father, whoever is connected to you, entangled, your friends. So yeah, it's interconnected, everything.
Yeah, it's like a ripple effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's say you have a client now and they have so much trauma, and the trauma is physical and you can see it, or maybe you can't see it, but they're sharing that they have like trauma. How does the trauma show up in the quantum field?
Okay, first of all, I think instead of us going out to the quantum field exactly, we have to face first the body. Because if you go to the quantum fields and you actually don't make the changes in the body of the person, the trauma will still there. Like trauma, it's a 3D world and it's an earth thing and it needs to be fixed here. So for example, if you were raped, you will have a trauma in your hip. Like the body, it's a map of your entire life. And if you know how to read it, you can understand the person. So how I feel my work works is we work in every layer of yourself first, and then we will go physical, then we will go emotional, then we will go to the mind, the thinking process, then we will go to auric field, energetic field, and then the quantum field. But everything happened in seconds. I'm just like layering up how it works. But yeah, if somebody has a trauma, I will focus on his body and everything is going through the body.
Yeah.
But the changes are in the quantum. And as I said, like the layers are in the quantum. That means that, for example, we have a therapy today. You don't feel anything, or maybe you have 3 weeks crying and you don't understand why, or maybe you got so many fights after that. It's because your body is still releasing. And maybe after 2 years, something will happen to you and you don't understand what it was. But it's this moment, it's impacting your life in every way, but you cannot understand now because we have this time frame limit that future past days have to pass by. So your body needs to integrate that they're actually holding the information for it to show. Or sometimes it's just instantly. Somebody comes with a pain or with a sorrow in their heart. And then, as I said before, it's like God through me heals the person and it gives what it needs to be done. Sometimes also like people will cry and cry and cry and they can't stop. But after maybe a month, they can open up for having a partner. Or depends in case by case.
So it's like when something changes in the quantum field, the body kind of recalibrates to the shift.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And it kind of catches up to the shift that's happening in the quantum field. So let's say I change something in the quantum field, and then I notice I lose friends, or I start crying, or I start getting like a few days ago, I tried to do a quantum healing, and my body just got very red, and I was getting all of these rashes and very inflamed. And at the moment, it felt like, why is this happening? Some people may fall in the mode where they start blaming the quantum field and the quantum healing, but in reality, that's the process your body needs to go through.
Exactly.
To catch up to the shift.
Yes, exactly. I was reading just like 2 weeks ago this book, How to Heal from Medical Medium. And he is putting everything like, for example, within the flu is bad, but actually the flu comes to help you to get the mucus out of your body. So maybe we frame or label things as bad and good, and because that doesn't even exist, you get nervous and don't let your body do what it needs to be done because your body is so intelligent. You know, Earth and the body and the quantum field itself, it's so intelligent that it will guide you through the way you need to go. Like even if you don't want to breathe, you still will breathe because your body is super intelligent. And about what you were saying about losing friends and this, it's also like the body is your vessel. So let's say we come from the light or the divine or the oneness, and then the consciousness will accelerate or will become higher proportionally to how much light you can hold in your body.
Yeah.
So, for example, I was living before in an ashram in Colombia during COVID, and we were doing practice every day, like sadhana. So it was meditation in the morning, yoga, vegan food. We were doing karma yoga, that it's like giving service without money in exchange. And then we were meditating at night again. We were doing kirtans, that is singing for God every day. And like my life was very pure in every sense. I used to listen a lot to reggaeton before, that it's music from Latin America, and yeah, you can hear everywhere.
Yeah.
And normally, the level of the frequency of that music, it's not bad, it's not good, as I was saying, but then it encrypted codes of sex, alcohol, and the vibe, even the frequency of the music, it's a very low one. Like if you hear that with awareness, you will feel it in your lower chakra, like in your root chakra and then in your sexual chakra, which is not bad, it's not good. But this was my music every day. Every
Yeah.
time I go to every spiritual place, I would say the only thing I would never be resigning to is reggaeton, because I love that. Like it's my party, it's my music. I'm very like happy person. And then when I was there, I went out from the ashram, and I couldn't hear reggaeton anymore.
Yeah.
Like my vessel now hold that much light and different frequencies, that frequency sound for me like I was in the middle of a traffic jam and everybody was like using the honking.
Yeah.
Yes, and for me it's like I couldn't. So I understood that the more light you hold in your body, then it has a frequency, and then you are attuning and exchanging energy with people in the same frequency. That's why you don't meet other people, or that's why your friends didn't like you anymore, because it's like your magnetic field start expulsing everything that doesn't align with yours, and then you have to give it time, because the magnetic or the quantum field will find a way to make you align with the people with your same frequency. So for me, I don't even know if this is true, but this is how I feel it. It's like, for example, you are vibing 500 hertz, I'm vibing 510. Everybody that comes near me will be 500 to 600. Not more like everybody that I really encounter, like a deep conversation or something. And then the music I listen has to be with that. Also, it's true that we change because we are humans. So one day you can be 700 hertz, one other day you can be 10. So yeah, basically, I think that's how our body works.
Yeah. So in the quantum field, you mentioned something like, about you in the quantum field, you're everywhere at the same time. You're in Dubai, Colombia, whatever. So basically implementing that there are different timelines that we can tap into. How can we tap into the highest timeline? Like the highest timeline that aligns with our truth?
That's a complex answer, because what is highest, what is lowest? Like you are perfectly fine as how you are now. And then how you tap in your consciousness every day. What's your practice daily? That's the most important thing. Every time I talk to God, he's like, are you meditating? Like if you don't meditate, meditating is what? Sitting with yourself and understanding your inner self, like the consciousness, your true self. So this is how you align with your higher self. Then in parallel lives or in parallel fields, there will be a Luisa that picked to be in Colombia. There will be a Luisa that picked to be in Miami. There will be a Luisa that picked to be everywhere in the world. One, maybe it's pregnant now. I don't even know. But what I know, it's like the higher one. It's not a competition also, because I cannot, I don't have access to them. But what I know, it's what I do this with this Luisa here in Dubai will impact everything. So what I need to do every day, it's meditating.
So is the timeline that we are living now the highest already? Because what I'm saying is, let's say there's a timeline where I'm doing very dark stuff. There's a timeline I'm doing very high stuff. So of course, if I had the choice to choose, I would go with the higher frequency stuff. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but then you are causing resistance and rejection to who you are. There is like if you become more aware of yourself, then you will start picking things with a higher consciousness, with light. So you don't need to jump into another lifetime or another field or another way of living. You have to be in charge of who you are today and improve every day by your small choices. Like, I know because they have sold to us something so very complex, but it's here now.
Yeah.
I have done so many therapies like this. They
Like quantum leaping.
yeah, they sell you, okay, now close your eyes. We are going to meditate and you are going to meet that person that already exists. Okay, go back to your daily routine. Show me that you are that person.
Like embodying the person that you want to be.
Exactly. And then also that goes back to something that God has told me. It's like this is causing rejection and resistance in your life. And then if you want to go somewhere else or somewhere higher, that implies that you don't like who you are, or you are broken, or you are bad. And you are not here for that.
Yeah.
You are here to love you completely. And love doesn't mean rejection. Love doesn't mean changing. Love means I'm Luisa. I'm deeply grateful with myself for being here, stepping up for me and everything. And then I will be improving, but I don't need to jump or anything.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So you speak a lot about aligning and activating with the new earth. What does that really mean?
Okay, the new earth basically is what we are stepping up next year, 2026. It will be very clear, like a lot of people now are like in a higher consciousness level. So if we all as a collective consciousness go to a higher level of consciousness, that means that the world as we see it will change drastically, because like what we were saying before, the hertz.
Like separation and
The hertz that we were saying before. Like if we are vibing as a collective consciousness of 300, then everything that align 300 or lower will be what we will experience every day. But then if we as a collective are more loving, more in tune with the light, in tune with yourself, have consciousness, awareness, then we can step up, and the world as we know will be vibing maybe in 400 hertz. So then the world as we see has to change, because
it will rise with
our
the collective.
attunement, it's different. So the experiences that we will have are different. The people that we will meet are different. Then the people that are maybe vibing in another kind of frequency that is slower have to like jump and step back. It has to catch up with everybody else because of the vibration of the collective. So it's basically that.
Yeah. What are ancient teachings that resonate or align with the concept of quantum healing?
I think the teachings are like the Tao. I feel Tao, it's like the complete teaching of everything and oneness as it is. But I think before we didn't have the tools to get to understand the world as we do today. Because quantum physics, we just starting applying now and interacting with that idea. But before, everything was like separate and solid, and now we are understanding that everything is interconnected. So I think maybe everything that we were doing in the past, we were doing through channeling the consciousness or the quantum field, and they were implying quantum healing, but we didn't know what we were doing. But it's still, it's the same concept. Like, for example, Reiki, it's based off the same.
Yeah.
And then I know there are other people, Qigong.
Wait, when you're saying before, what kind of timeline are you looking at? Like the 90s?
No, I feel like before means like 100 years before. This is what I mean.
Yeah. Because when I said ancient teachings, I agree with you that we had the time where we kind of forgot and we're kind of remembering now. But also, what about times like ancient Egypt or Lemuria or Atlantis? I feel like they were very in tune
I think everything comes from the consciousness. So when the population is prepared to receive the wisdom, then the wisdom will come. So of course, I have been in Egypt, and I have a study about Atlantis and Lemuria, and of course they were advanced civilizations in the way of how they were connecting with the energy field, and they had some amazing information that we are still receiving. I would say that they were doing even more things that we don't even know now. But everything is related. I think the wisdom will come in the proportion that we can actually hold, because what I know from Asian civilizations is that they were given so much wisdom and so much power that they killed themselves, like they destroyed themselves. So I think this time they are measuring everything to us so we can do it in the right way, or at least getting like higher the consciousness in the
In a
healthiest
steady
ways.
way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Like, so it doesn't shock us.
yes.
Yeah. So you talked about daily practices. What are daily practices that one can practice that ensures their field is, I don't want to say correct because everything is correct and how it's supposed to be, but maybe you can say enhanced or protected, or like, I don't want to use the word protect because protect means
Implies
that
fear, yeah.
fear, but basically kind of protect our field, because there are lots of dark, dense and energies, entities around us, not to fear but just to be aware of. And how can one ensure that these energies aren't infusing with their own field?
Okay, perfect. First of all, we have a vessel, that's the body, and then the body have two energies, yin, yang, or masculine and energy, and then also the body has this ego, that it's the one that becomes the role here. So it will show you like the way, but you have to train it, or at least let it work with you. Why am I referring to that? Because for me, ideally, this is what I have received. You need to meditate 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon, at night before you go to bed. Why? Because then the ego, it's linked to your head, like to your mind and the way you think. So because of your story, you will have this pattern of thinking. And if you don't remove these layers, you won't be able to get attuned with yourself.
Yeah.
So basically for me, meditation, it's like your daily shower. You shower every day your body, then you have to shower your mind.
Spiritual hygiene.
Literally,
Yeah.
you sit with yourself, and then your mind will start, what are we going to eat? What are we meeting? You don't engage with that. You just let it go. Like, you let the thoughts come to your mind, and you let it go. You don't start like a conversation in your mind. And then if you look at yourself, like dealing with that conversation, just stop yourself and look at your thoughts as it is. Don't judge them. Don't fight them. Just try to stay the more you can.
Observe.
First time, observe them. First you can do 5 minutes, then 10, then 20, then 30, and then stay. And the more you stay there, a friend told me, like, she's more in touch with yoga teachings, and she was telling me that one guru was saying, like, the first 20 minutes of your meditation, you are dealing with your mind, fighting it or cleaning it or how you want to see it. And then the next 20 minutes, you are dealing with your body. Your body will start, we are tired, we don't want to be here. And then the last 20 minutes, you actually will be able to get in tune with your consciousness, with your higher self. So basically, I think that's hygiene, one. And then I wouldn't say for protection, as we were saying, but actually because you care about your energy and you are so aware of yourself that you understand that you will be dealing with a lot of dense energies around you. If you go to an office or if you go to places to visit, it's easy that you get like entangled or in your auric field start coming things. So basically, when you are meditating, after my meditation is done, I will find a grip, and I will always say, my frequency and this body works for the higher frequency of love, and and light. Whatever is not aligned to this frequency cannot be in my body or in my spaces because we have free will. So sometimes we just have to be vocal about it.
Yeah.
And since I'm doing that, like I live more light. Before I used not to do anything like any kind of protection or guardianship. I will call it more like guardianship. But then I understood like the more light you start emanating, the more things will come. It's like you have a dark room and you have just one light. All things like insects will come to the light. So this was happening and I was so drained. And then I understood that we are all one and we don't need protection because I don't fear anything. I came here to help and to be in service. But then because of guardianship, of love, of who I am, as the roses have, how you call
Thorns.
thorns, then I'm a flower. I need some kind of guardianship that let me flow my day to day in a way that I'm not drained at the end of the day, or that let me keep working.
Yeah. So like protection out of self-love, but not protection out of fear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What it implies for us to be here on Earth, it's staying the longest as we can, because the longest that we can be here, the easier it is to remember, or the more time we have to remember. So if I just born, I was all the time with the veil of the veil.
Yeah.
So you are with the veil until you are 15, 16, 17, let's say. With your return of Saturn, like it's 28, that you become adult, then this veil will go. But normally this doesn't happen. Normally, if you go to places that they work for awareness and do this kind of therapies, it's older people. Yeah. So the more we can stay alive, the better. That's why our ego is there, and a guardianship has to be there also. So you keep yourself safe and your space safe.
Yeah. I feel like in the spiritual community and healing spaces, there's a lot of hate towards the ego and the mind that I feel like it's causing division with the mind, because the mind is part of our body at the end of the day and you're supposed to love it. It is valuable. And I feel like there are a lot of quotes and people saying that, oh, the mind is not allowing you to connect to the source and whatever. Like there's some kind of truth to it. You should know when to not use the mind. But I think you should also, it's there for a reason. I think the ego is there to, like without ego, I may not have any self-worth. Right? Do you agree?
Yeah, exactly. Like the way we are designed, it's perfect. So our ego make us have this role, and this role will make us serve here or be whoever we agree with God to be, and will allow us to experiment. Because there, like when we are one with God, we already are that.
Yeah.
So here we came to experiment. What I think it's important and key, it's to see your ego from outside.
To observe it and not be it.
Exactly. You can observe your mind, observe your ego, and you win. That's the magic. I think we don't have to put a fight or hate it. But then you can see in Kabbalah, in Sufism, in any teaching, they will say, like, just understand that you are not that, but that will go and be there for you sometimes to protect you. You know, sometimes, like because of what happened to me, I won't put myself in a room full of men because maybe I will be in danger. It's protecting me somehow. Or maybe I won't go to places with dense energy because my ego will be scared. So it's protecting me. It's serving their purpose. What you have to really understand it and become like a friend with your ego, let's say, and then understand when it's there protecting you and when it's not actually, like it's in the middle of your way to make it good.
Yeah. If you could leave the viewers with one message about where to start quantum healing if they have never started, quantum attunement, if they've never started, what would the message be?
Okay, so this is not a journey, so you don't have to start or finalize. It's just a matter of you to understand that maybe you are suffering, or if you need help, or if you need to be in a sacred place or space, then I'm here for you, or somebody that can do this therapy to you. And it's a matter of letting go and surrendering to God. So he can do the actual adjustment, because as I said, he's doing everything through me. I'm just the vessel that he's using in this earth to make the consciousness higher of the earth, and then everything will unfold.
I liked when you said it's not a destination. Like there's no destination.
Yes, because it's everything. It's like a journey. You have to heal. You have to
Yeah.
do that. You don't have to do
I feel like we started
anything.
as soon as we were born,
Yes,
but
exactly.
we weren't aware of it. And then when
Exactly.
people wake up, they're just aware of everything that they have done and what they can do going forward. I feel like my awakening was not when I started doing work on myself. I feel like I was doing work on myself even when I was a kid intuitively.
Yeah, because we are in this quantum field and everything, it's guiding us towards what we should do and what we need to go through. So everything is perfect, even if you cannot see it now. But then it will get to a point that you will look back and you will see all the points, how they connect.
Exactly.
So yeah, surrender, let go,
Yeah.
and just meditate, get in tune with yourself. And if you need help, then look for the tools and don't engage in this egoic thing of healing and more healing. I need to heal my father, my mother. Now I have seen in social media, I'm healing 7 generations. Who do you think you are? Like, this is perfect. It's created by God. How have you been here to heal your 7 generation? That means that you are more like higher than them, that you know better than them. It's not like that. You came to experiment yourself, but while you are doing, you're changing everything in the quantum field. Good. But yeah, don't give yourself that much importance, and also keep congratulating like it balance.
Yeah. So I'm really happy we dived into a lot. I feel like there is more that we can dive into. Yeah, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story and being super authentic and just being open to this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much to you, Rashed, for letting me be here and letting God speak through me in a very simple way. So yeah, people can get in tune with themselves and have a better life, like with harmony. Yeah, more flowy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. There are going to be more interesting guests like Louisa herself. And can't wait to see you guys again.